Hey y'all, back again with another video. How long has it been? It's been probably like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks probably since I uploaded my last video. So this video right here is strictly gonna be about how to protect yourself from certain situations, and this situation specifically being, if you're in a situation where the renter has not brought the vehicle back on time, or has just plain out stole your vehicle. When I say stole or steal, renters, what they like to do sometimes, this happens with, not only Turo, but this happens with a lot of different things. You lend something out to somebody and they do not bring it back, or they refuse to bring it back. So one way that you can protect yourself, especially with these vehicles, I'm going to talk about the older model vehicles that don't have this already set up inside, and I'm going to talk about these new model vehicles that already have this stuff in place. All you have to do is activate. So let's say your vehicle does not come back on time, or it gets stolen. Now, how are you going to be able to find that vehicle? The only way that you would be able to find that vehicle is if, it was just found quickly, or if you have a form of a tracker on it. And I'm going to explain why I believe that, certain trackers work better. I'll say work better than others. A lot of people may want to go the cheap route and get one of these OBD trackers where you can put it into your OBD2 port. If you don't know what that means, just search up OBD2. It's just this little device that plugs into the computer of your car, and it kind of reads. It can do multiple different things. It can read your codes on your car if you have an engine code. But now they're building these OBD little devices they're making them trackers. So one way that a lot of people are doing it cheap, which it helps if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't know enough about cars. But I believe that anybody who steals your vehicle understands to a certain level that they may be tracked. They're probably being followed or being tracked, and they would be able to find that OBD2 style tracker in the vehicle, and they'd be able to just pull it out. So this is where we have to be smarter in how we approach this whole tracking thing. And there are numerous amounts of companies out there who provide services, who provide trackers that are hardwired in. And when I mean hardwired, it's not the tracker doesn't rely on solely the OBD2 port, but it relies on the power of your battery. So the way that it gets connected is by being connected to the front of your car or the back of your car, depending on where your battery is located, and it is connected to your positive and negative battery terminal. So now the good thing about this is the fact that this company that I am actually going to be testing out is they have that hardwired tracker with a backup battery. So now this backup battery, it kicks in once it realizes that it is no longer connected to the regular car battery, right? So once that kicks in, it'll notify you that, listen, hey, it'll be like, hey, your car battery has officially been disconnected from this device, and now we are running on this external battery that's connected to your device. And I feel as if that's great, because that gives you extra time to be able to find this vehicle. So yeah. So now, when I talk about this, one of the other features that this has is a kill switch, where, I guess it would have to be, the person would have to be parked in a spot, or at least stopped and put in park. The car would have to be put in park, and they would basically, the app would basically allow you to flip the kill switch on, so the car would be basically immobilized. Like, you cannot move the car, you cannot start the car without you, the owner of the vehicle, actually unlocking the lock that you just put on the vehicle. So that's something that I would highly suggest that each and every single one of you guys who does, who gets into this car business game, who gets into this Turo game, I would highly recommend that you guys do this, because you got to protect your assets, especially if you're making payments on these assets. Like with the smaller vehicles that I have, the vehicles that I was able to buy cash, if they get stolen and I didn't have a GPS tracker, I would just lose out on making money, But in this case, like, imagine if I didn't have the trackers in, like, my Corvette or my Porsche, it would really suck. Because imagine, I am making payments on these vehicles. You do not want to make payments on a vehicle that you're expecting to be going out and it's now stolen. And now you're kind of stuck. Like, you don't even know where the car is. You don't even know how long it's going to take for the car to come back. Because once the car gets stolen, Turo has a process where it takes about, for them to start paying out, for what the car is worth, and you working everything out with your gap insurance. Also, always get gap on any vehicle that you buy, guys. You never know what's going to happen. Gap will cover you for the remainder of whatever you had on the loan. Literally the other day, I had a vehicle that I had. It was a total loss, and I actually paid a little bit more for the vehicle in payments. So my bank actually sent me a check back. Let me just show you the back. Yeah, show you the back. I ain't gonna show you the front now. I don't want you to be knowing my information like that. You can't be knowing my address unless you're a renter. But yeah. So you want to make sure that you cover yourself in like all ways, all different ways. There's gonna be more videos that I have about covering yourself, exit strategies out of this game if you do land in a situation where the vehicle is now completely out of the picture. But you want to make sure that you do get a tracker on your vehicle, so that you will not lose out on the money that's coming in. We're in a very hot market right now. I'm in a very hot market. I'm in South Florida. I know these summer spots are very hot right now. So South Florida, California, Atlanta, I don't know about Texas, but Hawaii's doing crazy right now. Like, it's ridiculous, the numbers that I'm seeing in Hawaii. Somebody's making like 400 something bucks a day for a small little vehicle. So you want to make sure that you're able to be able to get that vehicle back in time, so that you can get it out to the next renter, instead of you having to wait. So with the vehicles that I do own outright, it's kind of like okay for me, because and that's only if I was in a situation where the vehicle did get stolen. I'd be in a better situation than most people. But if it were one of these vehicles that I had, like that I had, like the Corvette and the Porsche, that would really suck. Because imagine, I didn't buy the car just for me to sit there and enjoy it. Yeah, that's a cherry on top for me, but I bought this car strategically for business, and that's it. I'm not connected to the car, emotionally. I kind of am, a little bit. I love these cars, I love them. But at the end of the day, I know that I bought these cars primarily for this purpose. So you want to make sure that you do everything in your power to protect your vehicle, your money maker, and so that you're not in a position where now you're liable to pay that car payment. You're liable to pay that insurance note, right? So always ensure that you get a tracking device on your vehicle. I would prefer that you do a hardwired setup. And the reason that I'm not telling you the company name yet is because I'm going to try them out first. I'm going to make sure that everything's working good with them. I'm going to do a few tests on my vehicles to see if everything works correctly. If it does, then I'll give you guys the name of the company. But do your research on different companies who provide fleet tracking systems for vehicles, and and get them on your vehicles as soon as possible, because you know, there's situations that I've been in, like, you know, I've waited for my car to come back and the guy came back 2 hours after, or the customer wasn't picking up the phone. Like, I hate having to be in that situation where I really don't have a clue about where my vehicle is at. Like, I feel as if I have an idea of where my vehicle is at, I'll be a little bit more calm. I'll be able to go retrieve the vehicle if I need to retrieve the vehicle, either, you know, by myself. If I feel as if the place is safe, I can confront. I'll be able to confront the customer, which is now the thief now, or I will be able to go to the place where the vehicle is at, make sure that the vehicle is there, and call law enforcement to come help me retrieve my vehicle. So that's one. So now let's get into the vehicles that already have this stuff built into them, the GPS systems built into them, like my Corvette. You know, every Chevy nowadays, since way back when, Chevy had OnStar, and OnStar has gotten even better over the years. Now we're in 2021. Back in 2017, that's the year of my Corvette. You know, they're offering that, you know, where you have OnStar and you can track your vehicle. You could basically see where your vehicle is at. And I love it a lot. So I activated that. I think I'm on a plan for less than 20 something bucks a month. I forgot the prices, but I'm gonna have to break a whole bunch of stuff down and kind of figure out my life and organize my life as far as Turo. But I got that on there. And then today, actually, I made an appointment yesterday to come here to come to Porsche today, my local Porsche dealership, to get the Porsche Connect activated, so that I could be able to have access to seeing my vehicle, to seeing where my vehicle is. Because imagine, man, these vehicles cost, you know, upwards to $60,000. I don't want to be liable for upwards of $60,000. It's not even that, but it is that. I don't want to be liable for upwards of $16,000 at all. So I want to make sure that these vehicles have their protection on them. One, gap insurance, guys. Always, again, I'm going to reiterate this. If you have car payments, gap insurance. Insurance is here for a reason. It's here to save your butt. Okay, save your butt. Because in certain situations, imagine you got a payment of like $1,000, $900, $1,000. Not a lot of people are used to making these payments now. You know, I comfortably can make the payments for one of my cars. Do I want to? No. So, yeah, I wouldn't risk not having gap insurance, you know? So just in case something does happen and your vehicle does get total lost, or it gets stolen and it gets parted out for parts, it's stripped to the bare metal, you want to be able to be covered. So again, it's either you guys do a hardwired setup, which I highly recommend. Hardwired setup, not the OBD2 port setup, because anybody could just pull that out. Anybody could yank it out. And I might even add the hardwired setup to these vehicles that I do have as a secondary backup. You know, you just never know. So either the hardwired setup, or if your vehicle does come with, let's say, OnStar, Porsche Connect, every other, you know, company has their own, Mercedes has their own, all these other companies have their own tracking systems. Make sure you get that stuff activated. Don't cheap out, because your vehicles are your money makers. And listen, you do not want to ruin that. All right, peace.